What's good, y'all? She gets this Irving back again with another 20s breakdown. In this video, we're going to break down episode 2 of season 2 of 20s. Let's get into it. Alright, y'all, the episode opens on Hattie and Ida B again playing a bootleg game of Uno, but connected on another level and living their best cute situationship life. Then we get a moment with Marie and her fiance who are interrupted by her new client and soon to be love interest. Yeah, I'm calling it because she wants that man bad. Child, I almost forgot that she was feeling him from last season, and honestly, I think it's her feeling bored in her marriage, questioning her fiance sexuality secretly, and all of the feelings around that. Also, maybe like her lack of progression within her career that is pushing her that way more so than the pure attraction. I mean, it is Iman Shumpert, so baby fine, but I'm saying for Marie, I think that it's deeper than that for sure. I love in this episode some of the lines that were said. So Nia says, I don't want to be famous, I want to be a good actor, when she's talking to Ida B, who is checking her on like her lack of social media presence and her lack of like growing her profile and her platform. Now that she is cast on this show, she needs to be able to show up like a celebrity because she is about to really just be catapulted into the limelight. And Ida also says, your platform should reflect the life you want, not the life you have. And I thought that this was very interesting, and I love that dialogue just because it's such a hard line to toe, right? Like, we want to be authentic, we want to be ourselves, but then part of it in reference to being in Hollywood and creating a career in filmmaking is giving of yourself or creating a persona of yourself for the public to be able to gravitate to be able to root for, to be able to ride with, and that becomes part of it. And I think it becomes a dangerous game when you create a persona that's completely different from you and it's hard to maintain, and then you wind up living two different lives or double lives. And we see that play out a lot in Hollywood today, and you see people get lost in, you know, the ego and the personas that they create. However, sometimes it's a necessary evil just because it really does, like, people buy from people. And I know that there's a few actors who, I don't care what the movie is, I don't care what the show is, I'm going to watch it if this actor is in it, and I'm going to watch every single thing that they do. And that's because they have established a certain brand, they've established a certain persona, they have given enough of themselves to make me feel related to them or relatable to them to the point that I'm invested and I'm always going to support them. So that's the conversation that sparked right there with Nia. And she's really going to have to navigate that because she's not comfortable with social media. She doesn't necessarily post. And in pursuing this career as an actress and trying to be a well-known, amazing actress, I think Ada's right in reference to she has to have a platform to also help push that engine. It just becomes helpful. My favorite thing about 20s is the real-ass commentary Lena is pulling in about the studio system, the journey of filmmakers and creatives on the journey, and the struggle it is to be authentic in a system that only cares about the politics that are most profitable and not the stories that would be the most life-changing, impactful, and ultimately healing. Like Marie, who sits in on a meeting at her agency when the white guy who got the promotion ahead of her last season is presented, and he's talking about what people, peep my air quotes y'all, what people want, right? And people don't want drama. They get that from the news. They want happy endings, and easy. And it's like, no, sir. We want to be seen. We want to feel felt, loved, moved, excited, sad, accomplished, and understood. We want to feel all the things with our media and explore the stories of others that can broaden our world from the comfort of our own home or in our favorite movie theaters. We have enough of the safe storytelling glorifying the white savior or the cheeky person of color who only is useful as the best friend or the sidekick, and the black trauma that others enjoy creating a shelf of separation and making themselves feel better about while looking on and pitying us. I said all that to say I really love how Lena is using the show to speak to all of this, and this is what comes up in conversation with specifically episode 2, and it really just puts it on Front Street for us to examine and to talk about. Now, going back to the social media point really quick, Hattie also has a line in here where she says nobody wants to tell the truth on social media, and again, I think that this just speaks to how it can kind of go wrong. Like, social media, it's definitely the highlight reel, but then some people lean further into like creating whole lives that they don't actually live just so they can perpetrate on social media. And I don't think that that's what Hattie is meaning, but I definitely think that that is what Nia is envisioning, which is also creating more resistance from her actually doing it. Now, Big Sean is perfectly cast as one of her love interests who she takes a peek at on his live. He's giving Zen vibes, he's giving healing, growth, and all of that. I freaking love him and Nia. Nia, we get why you love him so much, or at least are starting to, and I definitely cannot wait to see what they do with their storyline when they circle back to that in this season. And I'm giving Lena and the creatives behind 20s all my attention and time. The scene with Ida B giving notes to Hattie on her script was brilliant. I had to go back and watch it 3 times. It was that good. Lena, that scene. Ooh. I saw myself, writer friends, and more in that scene. I remember being as defensive as Hattie was and scoffing at the idea of having to do what feels like watering down your story, changing your perspective, and ultimately changing your story to please a bunch of people, specifically white executives who do not take enough time to relate to me or people who look like me and the stories that we trying to tell. Child, that scene. That's all I'm gonna say. That scene. So much authenticity in both Ida B and Hattie and their perspectives. And then the 1-2 punch from the homie from the coffee shop who checks Hattie's ego and invites her to the writers group. Y'all better be out here telling our stories of the film, creatives. And one thing that stood out to me in this episode specifically, and I'm kind of confused about with Marie is, or specifically with her and her fiance, is her fiance bad in bed or is she simply not attracted to him anymore? Because the moment that she started to imagine Iman Shumpert's character sleeping with her, she was taking it exactly where she was trying to get to and quickly. So it couldn't have been the motion in the ocean. It might have been just the shark that she was riding. Y'all let me know in the comment section down below. That is my breakdown of episode 2 of season 2 of 20s. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, turn on your bell notification so that you don't miss any of my 20s videos. You can also check out my episode 1 breakdown right here. And I'm your girl, Irving. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.